Hi everyone, I'm Mark,
And I'm Alex.
and this is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks. Well, welcome everyone to our fourth episode of the podcast. Today we are going to dive into mini games. We're actually going to have parts 1 and 2 just because, there's so much involved. I don't know how you could hit it all at one time, but we'll be focusing in on Final Fantasy X, 10-2, and 12. And then we'll get the other ones later. Before we dive in, though, we're going to just kind of toss something your way. We have started up some social media and whatnot. We have a website. We'd like to encourage everyone to stop on by. So we'll be posting different things. Alex and I have been taking lots of screenshots and little clips and things. So we're going to be tossing media at you and just, I don't know, good way for all of us to just kind of get involved, right? So, like I said, our website, it's probably the longest URL. It's the full name of the podcast. It's Final Stop for FinalFantasyTalks.com. Stop on by, check it out. And yeah, get that kicked off. It's pretty exciting stuff.
We'll be getting some stuff up there real soon here.
Absolutely. So, starting off, we'll get it going because, man, so much to talk about. We'll get all the other things. We're saving Blitzball for the end. So, Alex and I, the way we started planning these episodes was we kind of had a look at minigame, right? And we kind of had a discussion on this because we had slight disagreements. But how do you define a minigame within Final Fantasies? And so we kind of agreed on, for the most part, that it's kind of like an additional element within the game that it has different mechanics from, like, I guess the core of the game, I guess. I don't know. But something like, the question we looked at big time was, like, our hunts, of course, pretty much only in 12 and 13, are those a minigame? And Alex, what do you think?
Right. That's where we had the biggest disagreement. Huh? It was pretty much, it's just such a big part of the game, and it feels, in a way, I guess now knowing, kind of a better idea of what defines minigames, it's pretty obvious that it's not, because they're the same. It's the same mechanics that you have through the regular game.
Right.
All it really is you accept the hunt, which is just talking to an NPC, and then you go and fight the thing, and the combat's exactly the same. So hunts, I would say, are not a minigame.
Yeah, and that's where I put my foot down because, but that's what I think, like you said, once we defined it, I think that kind of helped eliminate some things. Because, yeah, that's really, it's like you said, you simply just accept a petition, or, you accept it, whatever it is, and then you just go do the same thing you've been doing all game, which is, fight, combat.
Exactly. It's all the same kind of stuff. It's like you're
Exactly.
talking to people and then you go fight. So,
Yep. And there is a lot of others. So, if we, of course, over those two episodes, if there's something that you disagree with us on for a minigame, be sure to let us know again, because, hey, social media. And we'll discuss it. We'll see what's up, because there's plenty of things that, we definitely went back and forth on.
oh yeah,
But,
there's room for discussion and disagreement on that for sure.
of course. And we'll start off with just favorites. For me, I think it's probably for mostly everyone. My favorites are Blitzball, Final Fantasy X Blitzball, and Triple Triad, of course, the card game from Final Fantasy VIII. Those two, by far, my favorite.
Yeah, and that's good that you were specific about the Blitzball on that one,
Yeah.
because definitely definitely not Final Fantasy X-2, in my
No.
opinion, but we'll get to that. I would have to say, I would agree with you with that. I just remember, the first time I played Final Fantasy X, or the first couple times, I got so into Blitzball. I
Yeah.
would just sit there, and it was just fun because it was so interactive, and also you had so much control of the players and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really like its own game within a game. They put a lot of effort into that.
yeah, tons. With all the abilities and the stats and everything, there's a lot of detail. I really liked the Triple Triad too. That was a card game that I think they did really well from Final Fantasy VIII. and Final Fantasy VIII didn't have that many mini games to speak of, but Triple Triad was definitely a really good one.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll dive headfirst into Triple Triad in our next episode because we couldn't put Blitzball and that one together and say podcast. We'd be here for like 4 hours. So, anyways, yeah, we'll get to that later. But got our favorites out of the way. And of course, there's other ones that I like a lot, but those two definite favorites for me. On the other hand, the most annoying and hated. For me, it's any of them that have that stupid repetition, like the lightning dodge in Final Fantasy X.
Oh man!
And the jump rope from Final Fantasy IX. It's just like
yeah.
I hate it. It's just like make it end, please. Which it would end very fast because I'm terrible at it.
Right. I think a lot of our listeners could agree with that. Those just absolutely suck. And then I've got to throw in there the chocobo dodging from Final Fantasy X. Oh, that was such a nightmare, to try and get the, believe it's the Sun
zero.
Sigil.
Yeah.
You have to get, but it's crazy because you actually have to get less than zero. Zero, like on the dot, isn't even enough to get it, I believe.
Okay.
At least that's what I've heard. We'll have to, when we come back to that, I'll do some research on that. I think that's the case. But, oh man, that one just drives me nuts. And I'd agree with the lightning dodging sucks too, and also the jump rope. And it's crazy that they have a trophy for that to get 1,000 in a row on the jump rope game.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, we'll get into Final Fantasy IX after these mini games because it's given me an opportunity to hurry up and play through, which I've been loving, by the way. But yeah, no, did the jump rope again, and I'm like, yeah, it took me a whopping like 3 tries of getting only 4s and 5s. But like, screw this, I hate it. Yeah. And then of course we talked about under our favorites, Blitzball Final Fantasy X-2. Oh my gosh, we will get to it later in this episode, but it sucks. They classic case of taking a great thing, changing it when it doesn't need to be touched, and ruining it in the process.
Yeah. I mean, they were trying to, on the one hand, I get trying to improve something and change it and everything like that, but they really did just ruin it, in my opinion. It just totally took away, like, the control. I don't even think you can control the players. It's more like you're a coach or something, and
yeah.
I just really didn't like it.
Nope. There's plenty others that just are not fun at all. But anyways, we'll move on. Everyone has what they don't like. Let's go to butterfly chasing. So kind of going down line, we're gonna kind of hit little things here and there. There's not a lot to talk about with a lot of these, but Final Fantasy X, if you remember, you had to kind of go get those butterflies, and it was just. It's definitely a mini game. I mean, it was different. Yeah. It was kind of just, there. And I don't know. What'd you think about it?
I didn't mind it too much. I know a lot of people really hate that one, among a lot of the other mini games. Like Final Fantasy X was particularly tough with like a lot of annoying mini games. And I think what made a lot of these so bad too was the fact that in order to unlock the full potential of all of the celestial weapons, you really have to do this stuff.
Yeah, had to.
Like, the chocobo dodging for Titus, the butterfly chasing for Kamari, the lightning dodging for Lulu. But as far as this minigame, I didn't think it was too bad because there wasn't a whole lot of randomness to it. I mean, the butterflies were always in the exact same position, so all you really had to do was just learn where they are and take the right route to get it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was a pretty straightforward one because, like you said, it's fixed. It was the, kind of the only one that was kind of fixed, so to speak. Just had to kind of correct you there, my man, though. Lightning Dodge Kamari was what it was. I think Lulu's was... Or no, you got it right. No. I don't know. It says, is it both?
No, I think the lightning
that's right.
dodging
you get them, yeah.
Yeah, you get Venus Sigil.
That's right.
That's right. Butterfly is Saturn
Mars,
Sigil, I think.
My bad. It's been a long
so
time.
Good, man.
But let's go to the chocobo dodging because it's funny. Because every time that Alex says that he hates it and has trouble with it, I am sorry. I usually get it the first or second time every single playthrough. I don't know what it is. I'm just apparently just really good at it. Is rubbing it
Apparently.
in, rubbing it in. I'm just, I get it first time. But
Oh, I'm just the best Final Fantasy
yeah,
X player of all time.
yeah, I'm kind of a pro when it comes to racing chocobos. But no, I can confirm you do need a time of 0.0, like zeros across the board. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you cannot have any additional time. I don't know. It's very much a pattern is what it is. So I think it's just finally learning the pattern and just learning, the best way to kind of get around it, so to speak. I mean, there's no other way other
Yeah.
than just practicing. That's the thing. There's kind of no technique or anything. It's just kind of just practicing, and becoming aware of the pattern again, and kind of just. And now your biggest complaint, I know, is it's the control of the chocobo. That does suck. I will completely
It's
agree. It is
the,
terrible.
the criteria that I usually, I'm gonna rate mini games as far as like or dislike is generally can just come down to randomness. This
Yeah.
mini game, it is fairly random. Like the balloons are random. You kind of have to get lucky with the balloons. They have to be placed in the right, position.
Mhm.
You've got the Chocobo's steering and controls, which you do start to understand like the way that they move, but at the same time, it doesn't really go where you want it to go. And
No.
then there's the invisible walls on the racetrack and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You've got the seagulls, which they're again like when they drop down, that can be somewhat random. I mean, it's just really frustrating.
Yep. Dodging those, hitting the balloons. Meanwhile, trying to wrangle a wild chocobo, and so yeah, no, but that is the one of them involving the chocobos in 10. That is, and the other one was kind of, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like at the temple, right? Of
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
what's her face? I don't know.
Uh,
Oh man,
yeah, no, the summoner that you have to fight.
yeah, the optional summoner, and so
I can't
um,
remember her name right now.
I can't either. It's been so long. But anyways, kind of doing that. That was kind of a mini game, same thing. The little treasures you could go
Hmm.
around and do stuff. So, but yeah, the butterfly, and then of course that brings us to the lightning dodge, which
Yeah.
I have never completed it. I actually have never really made a like legit attempt at it. I kind of just always scrapped it as something I was never gonna get.
What do you normally get to as far as
Oh, dude,
consecutive
I don't know
lightning?
because, like I said, I don't normally even do it. So I would say
Gotcha.
probably single digits, nothing higher than like teens. I
Okay.
would definitely say.
Yeah, it's it's really annoying. You have to find like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. The lightning strikes can be predicted if you run in specific areas. So there's a lot of ways that you can basically find like an area. And I'm thinking about next time I play 10 and we get around to that, I'll upload a video clip of like my route that I choose because if you take a certain route, lightning will always strike at the exact same time at the exact same place. And as far as I know, that's like the only way to really do that because you have to get 200 straight. So,
Yeah, no, and that's what you've told me that before. Predictable spots and all that. Man, it's just so much.
so
And
yeah, it's a real pain.
yeah, just to recap, because I looked it up in my guide, I got it right here. Remian Temple is the name in Belgamin. There we go.
Belgamine,
That's
yeah.
the some. It bothered me that you couldn't
Right.
remember that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but fun place. All right, moving on though. Final Fantasy X-2. Oh man, it's gonna be
Oh
great getting
man.
into that one.
Jeez, this
But
game. I mean, yeah, exactly. Actually can't wait till we get to it
I know.
because I know that this is such a contentious game. I know it's like a lot of people hated this one and everything, but as far as mini games, so many annoying mini games. I'll just
It
start off with
does.
Gunner's Gauntlet.
Yup, Gunner's
That one
Gauntlet.
sucked.
Dude, it was terrible.
Yeah, just really bad mechanics and everything. I mean, for those who don't know, you're in control of Yuna, and then you run basically down that path on Besaid Island, and you've got enemies constantly coming at you, and then you've got different forms of ammo and things, and you target and just basically shoot them. They have
Yeah.
an HP amount,
They try
and
to make it like an arcade game, pretty much,
yeah,
is what it
sort
seemed
of.
like. Not
Yeah,
good.
but
Not a fun one at that. I did not like it.
no, no, and I always have to do that. You can get, I believe if you get a certain score, you can get an adamantite or adamantine or something like that, and
Yeah.
pretty good accessory. But
You definitely get some good stuff from it, but not fun.
yeah,
And of course, then there's the Lightning Tower calibration. It's kind of a mini game, you know what I mean? It's definitely
totally.
different.
Yeah.
And I mean, see, here's the thing. I mean, like you said, I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting to 10-2 because it will at least force me to make a legit try at it again. You know,
Yeah.
I always make it about, I don't know, a third of the way through and then kind of fizzle out. And so that's why
Uh,
some of the stuff I just don't really remember too much. But the Lightning Tower caliber, once you do that, that unlocks the secret area, right? Or is that
yeah,
something
but you
different?
don't really have to do very well. I think all you have to do is just attempt it. And
That's right. Yep.
so, yeah, the nice thing about Lightning Tower, because I absolutely hate it. I mean, it literally gives me nightmares thinking about this minigame because some of them are just so annoying. But basically, I say the best prize that you can get if you can completely calibrate, I think all of them or almost all of them, you can get a ribbon.
Oh.
And yeah, but there's other ways. There's easy ways to get ribbon, and
Yeah.
also taking into the account that this game had the new game plus, so you could basically just
Oh, that's true.
blow through the storyline, get your ribbon. You get at least one a game if you just get that treasure chest of Bevel,
Yeah, that's
so you can
true.
get a bunch. But man, the Lightning Tower is just a nightmare. You kind of remember how that works? When was the last time you played it?
Oh man, I don't remember. I caught little glimpses and images in my brain of it, but I
Okay.
don't really remember.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Like basically,
Oh,
Pains
isn't it like you gotta
is
like hit the right combo or something with
yeah, yeah,
correlating words and button presses?
yeah. For Riku, it's that. For Yuna, it's like a memory thing where it pops up on the screen. You got to memorize it
Yeah.
and put it in the right order. And then Pains is the worst, in my opinion, because there's three or four or something like that buttons that drop down from the top of the screen.
Oh, dance
And you have
dance.
to press it, remember? Yeah, and towards the end, it is really fast. Like it's crazy
Yeah, I
fast.
remember that now. All right, man. Joggling my memory. I'm liking it. Yeah, no, I remember
Yeah,
all those. And I remember, yep, the dance dance one is the hardest one because, yeah, it just starts like falling from the sky going 100 miles an hour and just
dude,
going on down.
I've tried it though, so I just can't do. I don't have
Yeah,
fast enough reaction or something.
no. Well, another one in Final Fantasy X too, which is kind of on the longs of grueling, boring, and just plain like just pointless is monkey matchmaker. Oh, it's like
Oh,
please, I don't care about these stupid monkeys loving each other.
that's right. That's right. In Xanarkand, you're trying to like overpopulate the place with monkeys or something. So
Yep. So they'll get out of the temple. Yeah.
yeah, I hate that one. There's so many to like match together and everything, all in like. Of course, they place them really far apart.
Yep.
That's a pain.
It is a pain, and luckily I had the strategy guide so that I make it go a little faster. But even then, it's still like just.
Yeah.
But you gotta do it if you want 100%. And of course, once we get to 10-2, oh,
True.
will we talk about 100% runs? That's for sure. Way to
Yeah.
kill your self worth in life. That's for sure. Um, Final Fantasy
Yeah.
12. Not really very many mini games in Final Fantasy 12 at all.
Only think of one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. So okay, obviously we talked about hunts; those are out, and now I was kind of thinking about it, and there are some like little tiny side things, but I wouldn't really count it as a game, such as when you're sneaking into the castle way in the beginning with Vaughn, and you can go, "Hey, over here!" And then the
Oh
little
yeah.
guards. It's not really a game, you know what I mean? But I guess it's more kind of a quick puzzle, but. that's one. And then you have, I'm Bosch von Ronsenberg, and
yeah.
I guess that's kind of a game too, right? Because you got to get the bar up to 100%. You got to avoid the guards, whatsoever. But other than that, it really doesn't have one other than the fishing.
And I just gotta chime in and say we need to get some sound bites for those Vaughn calls. Like, hey, Buckethead.
Hey, Buckethead.
And,
don't believe Ondor's lies.
Don't believe Ondor's lies. Yep.
I'm Bosch von Ronsenberg of Damascus. Yeah, no, it's great stuff. But fishing, I will say, I have literally never done the fishing in Final Fantasy XII. Never.
Well, that's good because it's really annoying and I hated it. I think I did it one time. What is it you get for it? You honestly you get like a completionist medal type of thing. It's like the
I think you gotta have it for Sky Pirates, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it's for. Because I remember doing this. I did this a long time ago, and I never tried it again because I really, really hated it. But you get like the Fisher's, it's like Master Fisher badge or something like that. Like how you have the Godslayer badge for being,
yep.
I think Hellworm or something. Anyways,
I think it's Yzmat.
Yzmat, and then you get Omega badge for Omega, and this one I can't remember the name of it, but it's the third badge that. Once you get that, you get another Sky Pirate stand figure or something. But
yeah, and
I honestly don't remember too much about this one.
Well, and I've looked at it, in the strategy guide, because how can you not? It's literally like it takes up like 3 pages in it. It's insane. I don't know. It kind of goes back to me just never kind of following through all the way at endgame Final Fantasies, and so I just never made it to it. But yeah, no, looking at it, it was like this looks complicated as heck. It just didn't ever entice me to it. But like we said, there are a lot more that I'm sure we're not hitting on. If you all listeners have any ideas on other ones or ones you love and not, make sure again hit us up on social media and let us know. But we'll be transitioning into Bold Move here before we get into probably some of our favorite parts. So yep, Bold moving it up. Here we go. So the premise of Bold Move is Alex and I, we choose one thing from Final Fantasies that we just think was a bold move in general. So Alex, go ahead and start us off here.
Alright, my bold move for this week is Final Fantasy IX. When at Condi Pate, the dwarf village, it's that part when Zidane suggests to Vivi and Quina that they should get married so that they can go on to the sanctuary, right?
What? I don't remember this.
Remember that? Oh man, it's such a classic part because
Oh,
you get like an ATE scene where they're actually getting married, and then it's just really funny. Quina's just like, "I'm so happy," and Vivi's like, "Me too."
Me too. Oh my gosh.
It's just fantastic. It was a bold move by Zidane to do that.
That is. Both of them, look at them, Vivi and Queen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine is brought to you by Final Fantasy XIII. The game itself is a bold move, but mine is Lightning taking on the motherly duties of Hope.
Oh.
Because, they're together forever. And, have you listened to that crybaby kid the whole time? I wouldn't want that kid. That's a bold move. Man, he's just whining about snow the whole time.
Oh man, I just love it when she puts her foot down with him. There is no Operation Nora. Operation Nora's over.
Yeah. So that was my bold move, Lightning. You're a better person than I am, that's for sure. But that is our week's bold moves. Let's move on for some more mini games. So, of course, what's next is something that Alex and I, and many people, absolutely love, and that is Blitzball. Final Fantasy X Blitzball. 2, 3,
yeah.
Teach us how to blitz! And so...
maybe tonight?
Maybe...
You can't tonight.
You can't tonight. So Blitzball, man, just like we talked about, such an amazing game. It really is. So we're going to start off by just kind of, I don't know, our opinions of the games. I have the strategy guide. Alex is looking at the stats too. I'm a big stat person. I kind of like looking at all the stuff. And so, man, I've analyzed the back of this book, strategy guide, that is so many times the Blitzball, looking at all the players, all that stuff. And we kind of have come up with some things for the teams, right? You got the Besaid Aurochs, which haven't won a tournament or a game in 10 years, right? They kind of live up to their name, to be honest, if you're kind of looking at stats. Now, we focus mostly on at level 99, and I know that there's a lot of stuff that happens with these players up to level 99, but just right now, the premise of if we're just looking at these teams, if these teams stay as they are with their players, and everyone's at 99, what's it look like? So Besaid, they're kind of not very good. They're early on, they're not so bad. Around level 20, I kind of looked, and they're actually kind of pretty above average, but it just grinds, man. It grinds to a slow stop after that.
Yeah, I feel you. And I mean, I watch a YouTuber who he deliberately uses the Besaid Oryx just because, it's like it makes more sense in the story, right?
Of course.
But it's like a challenge, to actually stick with the Besaid Oryx. I mean, I can at least speak to a couple of the players on there that always drive me crazy. Obviously, Keepa is just
terrible.
Such a horrible goalkeeper, man. His stats just are not very good, especially at low levels. I mean, I think he's got a catch of like 7.
Dude, it's 5 starting out at level 1.
Seriously?
5.
Wow. Yeah, so exactly. And then the other one is Bada. His attack is okay, but the thing that drives me crazy with him is like his endurance is so low that as soon as he does get the ball, it's just he always gets it taken away. So
yeah, I mean the forwards can take him out. He can get the ball and then just take it right back. And it's, yes, Bada, you're on the bench. Okay, how about that? Am I on the bench? Yeah. Sit down. I want Waka and Titus both in.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we got the Luca goers, which are Luca goners, because how do they win anything? Their team is terrible. Yep. It's so bad.
Yep. I actually really like that they made him like that, because they just made him these, like, really unlikable, jock-like kind of team.
Yeah.
The early stages, and it's kind of hilarious how actually as they go up in level, they get worse and worse because their stat growth is so bad. I mean,
it's terrible.
Early game, they're not that bad, especially the one guy on that team that always gives me the most trouble. It's actually Grav,
does?
the
Okay.
center. Yeah, because his attack is really good, his block is really good, especially, like the tournament, for example, at really low levels. So, but it is just hilarious how it's a slap in the face to them that they talk so big, but as they level up, they just get worse and worse compared to other teams.
To in case you don't know, to give you all an idea of what we mean is only one player of their entire team has any stat over 50, and the funny thing is that's Roddy, the goalkeeper, for endurance. It's like a stat he's never even gonna need.
Totally useless.
Yeah. But what do you think about the Killica Beasts, man?
I actually love a lot of their players because I guess going back to what you were saying, I typically like to build my team for the end game kind of goals.
Right.
You know what I mean? I at least like to build it that way, even if I might not be playing that far. But Killica Beast players are really interesting because a lot of them have some of the best stats in the game only at level 99, and up until that point they're pretty mediocre. So I guess it depends on how you choose to play Blitzball. If you're looking just to win the tournaments and things, you can get a lot better players at the like 20s levels, 30s, things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, overall their team is like really strong at 99. It's crazy. It's a little bit of a build up, but yeah, they get going. I'll bet Sykes If you know anything about Blitzball and playing them, first off, they, I say, are the hardest team starting
Yeah.
off. They just, oh man, their stats are so strong. Like, we talking about Nimrook, level 1 has a catch of 18. That is, dude,
Right.
you have to be like in his face with like kicking the ball, getting lucky on a sphere shot to score. It is insane.
No, seriously, and even when you mention that, that is obscenely high for a level one goalkeeper. I mean, it's actually unfair because
It
when you're going through
is.
the tournament in the league, like what you were saying, you'll have, even if you have Titus with check shot, it's not good enough. I mean, you literally you need luck to be on your side
Yeah,
because there's a lot of randomness to the way that the stats work in Blitzball as well.
of
But
course.
even like what you said, when you're right up against the goal and you have a shoot of 19 with Titus or something, it's just, man, it's brutal just because of Nimrok, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and then take him aside, and then you put in all the other players. Like they're very strong overall. I mean, it's insane. Like even their forwards, they got double digit block right off they're forwards, and so
Hmm.
like if they get in on the defense, it's just incredibly like really hard to go against. And then of course as it goes on, their stats don't actually develop as strong as they start off with. So you know, they're still okay. They're defenders with Jutta and Lacam. Of course, we're probably butchering a lot of these names, but they actually start pretty good. It's actually their offensive players that start to suck. So
Yeah.
at least they're like that.
Yeah, because I've definitely when I'm looking at level 99 players and things like that, Lakam's a pretty good defender.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever really look at their shooters, and then of course Nimrok is just
yeah,
the best goalie. But
yeah, absolutely. What do you think
about the
about Ron?
Ronso Fangs,
Yeah, the Ronso Fanes. What do you think?
uh, hey, I'd love to play against them because they're just
Why?
so
I don't
easy. I mean,
understand.
right? Exactly. I mean, all you really need is just speed, and even with the Besaid Oryx, you've all got 60 speed, and it's
Yeah.
just hilarious. I mean, if you just control the players and just pretty much take them to the edge of the sphere, you can just outrun them. It's
Uh,
kind of sad. Like other than that, they have really good stats. Like if you're in a one-on-one with some of their defenders, you're gonna lose. You're either gonna get tackled or they're gonna block your pass or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
No,
just the fact that you can always run away from them.
you said it. It's always so much fun when you get into a tournament and you see that the top scorer is something like a level 4 key sphere, and you're like, oh yeah, because
Exactly.
yeah, you'd even sometimes get your defenders in on it if your defender had good enough shoot, because yeah, you get that pass to your fast player, you go within the vicinity to pull them onto you. Next thing you know, you got a little herd of Ronsos chasing after you. You're halfway across the court. You pass it, and then Zamzi, the goalie, is like, "What are you guys doing?" Like you're all on the other side. I'm all by myself. And so
Dude,
it's
right?
so hilarious.
I love that you mentioned that though. It's so funny when you're looking at the mini map, and you've got the little red arrows on there for all the players. You just manipulate it, and then basically you get them all to chase you, and you've just got like this little cloud of little red arrows following
Yep.
after one player. And yeah, Zamzi, poor Zamzi, just the saddest goalie in all of Blitzball because his team never helps him out.
Never helps. He constantly has to go one on one. Yeah, nope. And then you kind of take it the opposite side with the Guado Glories, and
Oh
their
yeah.
speed is really crazy, which at the beginning is not that big of a deal. Now their block is what really shines, but again, even at the beginning, it's you don't need to weather that. You can just break through them because they're not that strong, but it doesn't stay that way.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of the Guado Glory's players. Like, just speed is so important in everything in this game. But then, of course, when you get closer to level 99, you have a lot more options for speed players. And another thing I think is kind of interesting, it's funny because it makes sense when you go through the story of Final Fantasy X, why their stats are the way they are. The insane
Yeah.
speed. I'm just thinking of that part where you're Titus trying to run away from Makalania Temple, and they're way faster than you.
Yep.
And then, of course, the great block with the giant hands and things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of funny when you think about it.
Well, and that's the thing, I mean, it's again like that combo early on is not too hard in the levels, but once at 99, I mean, the speed's crazy. The main thing though is that between the center, Navarra, Ada, and Pa for the defenders, like each of them has like mid 50s attack, which okay, not a big deal. Well, except for you have to break through at least two of them. You have to, because each of them has a block of pretty much 80, which is insane. So you have to take out at least two of them. And then even then, I mean, essentially you have to take out all of them, because at that point you're going to have to pass, and you better make sure whoever's passing has like 99 pass, because there ain't no way you're going to be able to shoot it and actually get something unless they miss. So it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when we get into kind of our ideal teams, I think that's a big key factor is block is actually pretty crazy in this game, because you've got so many players where it's almost like 80, with Guado. But when you look at the top attackers, I don't even think there's one with 70. I mean,
No.
it definitely doesn't get that high. So block is cool because, like what you said, even though their attack is like mid 50s, account for the fact that basically you can barely pass it past one defender if their block is like 80.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
pretty,
then you better
pretty
help
crazy.
someone. Yeah, someone's nearby. It's insane. So kind of transitioning into that, building your dream team, right? So obviously you can recruit anyone in the game now. Now some of them it's difficult because they may be already on the team and you gotta wait for the contract. But just if you could, fantasy draft, that's kind of what we're going about here. If you didn't have no issues getting them, and so kind of what stats do you focus on and what's your strategy? That's kind of where we're going about with this. Obviously, kind of as we've been hinting at, and as Alex said, he's kind of a long haul person, right? Just looking at the end result instead of right now. The funny thing is I look at stats like that and I pick my players like that, but I never ever play enough Blitzball to usually make it past level 40. So I don't know why I do it that way. Because some of these players, kind of like the Killer Beast, they take a long time until it starts kicking off.
Exactly.
And so I do kind of have some players that are more strong around 15 to 35-ish is kind of what I go for, with some long-term ones mixed in as well. And so going for it, Alex, talking forwards, what do you like?
Well, I mean, obviously endurance and shoot, obviously for the forwards, but endgame I kind of like Iskin's pretty good. He's a Kilico Beast player, and he's I think the only one in the game that actually ends up with 99 endurance, which is totally insane. His shoot is 81, so but I think the thing is with this, especially when it comes to endurance and shoot, is that you've got the other player, Larbite, that has 96 shoot.
Right.
But to be honest, it doesn't really matter because shoot abilities add at least 8 to shoot. And then on top of that, you've got things like Sphere Shot where you can get, plus 19 or something like that. So, like 96 shoot, it's not really that great because... You know what I mean? Like he's already
you're gonna
almost
max
at
out.
99 anyways. Yeah. Whereas with endurance, there are no abilities that increase endurance. You only have things like tackle slip and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So him, and then the other one I would have to say is Dado. And even though I played a late game, I actually really like Dado because he kind of has a little bit of a speed advantage right off the bat. I know he ends up with really good speed, like 90.
Yep, he's fast.
And not very good shoot. I mean, his shoot is like 62 or whatever, but I guess it's a way that you can stay faithful to the original Aurochs, and he's kind of like one of the okay ones on the team. But what about you?
Yeah. Well, and also to attest to the speed too, if you have a super fast player, you don't really always have to have the strongest stats, because kind of manipulating that little chase thing for them, you oftentimes don't even have to break through anyone, and 62 shoot right up against the goalie. Nimruk is we'll get to that, but he's the best one. spoiler alert, he only has, what, 67. So, I
67
mean,
cats, yeah.
that's 62 more than enough. I like Volucha. Volucha is found in Besaid. She likes to wear nice clothing that exposes a lot of her skin. I mean, with Blitzball. So she she actually ends up with pretty darn good stats. She has 83 endurance and 91 shoot. The rest of it's not great. Of course, this is a forward, but I like her because, yep, she's got tackle slip, so that's great, and she has a lot of really good shooting techniques. She's got good stuff, and so I like her for it. The other one is a little more obscure. It's Shami from Luca. And while at 99, she doesn't have the strongest stats. 68 endurance, 88 shoot. She is a beast at like level 20 because her attack is up there as well at that. And so she is a super high attack. And so like stuff on like kickoffs or, if she does lose the ball or someone else does and she's on defenders, she can usually take it right back from them, which is really cool. So she's kind of a little more rounded at that. But of course, at 99, her attack is negligible. So it's whatevs. But moving on to centers, man. What do you got?
Love that name.
Shami.
Shami. Love it. Centers. So my favorite has always been Nav Guado. He's kind of a tricky one to get because, like what you were saying earlier, it's one of those things where you have to wait for the other team or for his contract to expire, and then you have to hope that they don't re-sign him.
Right.
So if you can get him, such a good center in my opinion. At level 99. He's got like 84 speed, 82 block. It's just crazy because like a center, especially with that speed, the nice thing is he's getting into a lot of these 101s and like defensive battles and things like that. And then decent tackle, 54, which again would add like tackle 3 or something. It's going to be pretty strong. And 65 endurance, which it's kind of one of those stats that I value for almost every player because there's nothing more annoying than winning the ball over with one of your defenders and then getting it taken away by the enemy center or something like that. So I like my players to have good endurance. And the other one I'd have to say, if given an option, I go with Nav Guado first, but Viroja is the center for the Kilika Beast, and his stats are just pretty much beast at level 99.
Yeah.
He just has average speed, though, at 60.
Yeah. No, he's pretty good, man. He's got 99 pass and 75 endurance. So he's actually pretty good. It's funny. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. What I usually do for center is, oddly enough, I actually throw Titus in as center. I like to have 3 offensive players with him. I mean, granted, centers don't have the best positioning. If, you have the ball and everyone's starting to swim down, they stop quite early. But with him, it doesn't matter, man. You got Jet Shot or Jet Shot 2, so you can just plow right on in, up the middle, doesn't matter. You pull 3 of them, who cares? Jet Shot, boom, score. But I know that that's not really center's kind of, job. It's kind of, an all-rounded character that helps out with attacks, can kind of go up in the front, maybe take off a defender, then pass it to a forward, boom, score type of deal. Mm-hmm. So if I had to actually have a center, a real center, move Titus to a forward, I would actually go with Kayuri, which it's pretty funny because actually today I was putting this list together. I'm like, okay, I need to actually have a real center. Funny thing is, Navarro was on there, Viroja was on there, Tats was on there, and I wrote all their stats down and compared it. Man, all of them are amazing. It's just kind of what you choose, what you like more. And I like Yuri because she does have 69 endurance, so kind of up there. But she has 66 attack, which is pretty great. Because kind of like you said, these centers, they're getting in on a lot of these fights. And so if you can have them with good attack, good block, granted, doesn't even come close to that Nav's block of 82. She's only got 51. But it helps, it helps because they're usually not just by themselves. And if they are, so be it. But really good. I like her. 90 pass. Good pick for center.
Well, I was going to say with Kayuri, too, that's probably one of the top attacks in the game.
Yeah, up there with 66.
Because as far as defenders, Kulukin from the Kilika Beast, 64 attack, 64 block. Crazy thing about her, 96 pass, which is I
For a
don't know why a
defender.
defender would
Yeah.
ever need that much pass, but that's pretty cool
Yeah,
because you can pretty much be at the back of by the goalie and throw it to like
absolutely.
one of your forwards or something. However, one of the gripes I do have is the 36 endurance.
Yeah.
It's just annoying because that's really, when you think about that, you could probably only take on like one of the forwards and the center before they're already going to start taking the ball from her. So,
Well, and yeah, I think I think that's why they probably did that with 96 pass. To be honest, it's like okay,
yeah.
not gonna take the hit, just gonna go through their block, which for most forwards they could easily, she could easily do. For me, I got Rop, Mr. Rop. He's the Meehan, right? Meehan Temple, and so I like him because I think in my opinion he is absolutely the best defender in ways of just attack. I think he has the highest attack stat at 99, of course, of 73. But the great thing about him is that he is not like an investment character, meaning you have him on team, you're investing it for the. No, he starts off strong. I mean, you can get him,
Yeah.
and at level 1, he has 15 block and 11
Yeah.
attack. That's pretty good.
So
Well, actually,
good. Exactly.
here's the thing. He starts off at 5. He doesn't even start off at level 1. So it's strong, and then those just keep steadily growing. So that's the great thing. That's like it doesn't start real low and then kick up at the end. Nah, it's kind of high starting off, and it's going. The other kind of cool thing too, kind of like Kulukin, is he also has 96 pass, and so pretty cool stats. I like it. The other one is Kaio. He is what? He's the no. Romp is at Mihan. Kaio is at the temple. Anyways, I usually get him. He is kind of one of my like earlier on ones because at the end he's not great. I mean, he's not horrible. 44 attack, not very good. He does have 64 block, so there's that. He's also a little faster. He gets up to 71 speed at 99. But it's just again, it's that early pickup. He actually has 15 attack at level 1, which is just crazy,
Wow.
I mean, a lot of those forwards
Yeah.
don't have anywhere near that. And so
That's actually kind of useful too, when you think about it, because yeah, your forward could be stealing the ball
yeah,
and maybe even able to shoot. So
exactly. So yeah, so he's those are my defenders, and then last we got goalie, which it's a pretty short list for goalies, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah. And going back real quick, I also just gotta agree with you, Rob. Every single time I play, and I'm playing through 10, and I'm getting new players, it's just a no-brainer because on top of that, you can also he's always a free agent, at least at the beginning, unless somebody signs him up real quick. But he's right after Luca.
Yeah, right
The
down the road.
The Meehan
Travel agency.
Friends Travel Agency, right? So you can sign him right off the bat, and he's so much better than Bada in my just
Yeah.
so much better.
Well, it's that,
But
and then sometimes it's also nice just to pick up players, even if you're not going to use them, just so other teams don't have them, because
exactly.
they're good players. Kaio, my mistake. Jose Temple is what I meant to say. So there we go. But all right, man, goalies, what you got?
Well, everybody, of course, Nimruk, so that's kind of a no-brainer. But I'm gonna throw out there Nizarut, the Kilika Beast. He's pretty dang good. I don't know how he is at lower levels, but at least at level 99, 60 catch is not bad
That's
at all.
yeah, it's up there. He unfortunately kind of is along with Keepa. He is not very. He starts at 6 and over up to 20. He only gets up to 13. So I mean, it's kind of
Pretty
it's a
rough.
slow growth. But yeah, no 60. There's not, like you said, there's not many players that have kind of 60 plus catch. It's kind of crazy, because meanwhile there's so many shooters that are like half the players have over 60 shoot, and so it's crazy how they did that. They really don't want you to actually shoot, it seems. But Nimruk, like you said, I mean, he has 67. That is the highest, obviously the best. He's got really good skills as well. I usually, again, beginning of the game, pick up players. I get Jamal. He's right there in Luca. He has 14 catch starting out, which is more than double what Keepa has. It doesn't really get much better than that. It's kind of slow going. But at least in the beginning, he already has more catch than most of the goalies. And so I usually just toss him in because I'll be honest, man, if you got strong enough players on the other side, if you got good strategy and stuff, they don't usually score, they don't usually have an opportunity to shoot that much. And if they do, it doesn't matter. I'm already up 3-4 goals, and so that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah, and Jamal, he's really good at low levels.
Yeah, really good. Now we got some odd. Well, okay, so that's our teams, our favorite players. Of course, I would really like to hear some of your listeners' choices because man, there's so many cool players and so many interesting themes. Which we're kind of actually. Let's go into some odd characters, and we mean odd by like stats. It's like kind of like that is weird.
Yeah, or how would you use them effectively, and in what situations are they good, and
yeah,
it's kind of like the double-edged sword thing. They have some crazy strong stats, but then on the other hand, they have a lot of limiting stats that makes them kind of not as useful.
Yep. So what's your first one there, man?
Edis. It's just so weird. It's kind of a catch-22 because he's so slow at the beginning. And I mean, I say at the beginning too, up until level 35, 30 speed. So it really sucks because it's like he's not useful at all. I mean, with 30 speed,
he can't do anything.
He can't hardly move, right? And then, you get him up to level 50, which, by the way, I mean, talk about how much work that's
a lot of Blitzball.
Crazy. Right, and you're going to have to be leveling him up with 30 speed, so...
Yeah, using them.
But anyways, his speed jumps up to 99 at level 99. That is just hilarious. It's kind of like the game's way of punishing you if you let him go too early,
yeah.
Or rewarding you if you stick with him and level him all the way up. It's like, oh, look at it. He turns out to be one of 2 players in the game with 99 speed.
Yeah, it's crazy how they did that because, like you said, you have to be using him. He can't just be on your team. You have to use him. Like that is just so much blitzball. It's crazy. Another one like that, which is hilarious, is Mifure or whatever you say.
Furry.
Even worse, my furry. 20 speed. Like,
oh my goodness.
It's so hilarious. I just love it because the most hilarious thing is that there is always a team that picks her up instantly. Just always. True. And then you see her in team and you just laugh because it's like and they usually always put her on center too. So it's like you always will be able to just bum rush her, or if you get the ball, you just go whoop right around her. But now the hilarious thing about that is, go ahead and invest some time because she's not going to get until like level 60 growing in speed, and even then she doesn't get that much faster, you know what I mean, than normal players. I mean, at that point when she does get faster, she does actually turn into an okay defender. She'll get 69 speed in the end, but still, I mean, like you said, dude, that is so much blitzball, and she is not going to be doing a darn thing up to there.
Yeah, you can just imagine when they're signing her, it's like, all right, who do we want first or two? Oh, my furry.
Gotta get it. Have to.
Yeah. All right, Lina. Lina is another really funny one. Yeah, so Lina, isn't that the one that's on the ice bridge on the way to Macedonia or something like that? And but she's got crazy good stats.
She is
so many different things, right?
Good.
Yeah. I mean, you've got 60 attack, 99 pass, 61 block, 92 shoot. But this is the real kicker. This is just the game
is a slap in the face.
You. 27 endurance.
27.
What can you do with that?
Yeah, in contrast to going back, Shami, at level 20, she has 25. At level 20, and so...
Yeah.
No, it is. It is a WTF moment where it's just like, yeah, here you go, really good stats, but 27 endurance. So it's kind of like, I don't know what you'd use her for. I really don't. Maybe a center, and then you just can't take any tackles. You just got to break through everything, or not break through. You got to pass over, shoot over. I don't know how you would use her.
probably be a pretty good. You can even play her as defender, to be
Yeah,
honest,
you
with
could.
60 attack and 61 block. She could be shooting from like
Mid,
midfield or
yeah,
something.
midfield. Oh, Lina. Well, Wedge is
Yeah.
another pretty funny one. Just for the
Oh yeah.
sake that, you get him starting out. He's got 17 shoot at level 1. We're talking, you get him at
Wow.
Luca. You know what I mean?
That's
Blitzball opens
crazy.
up, you can get him. He's got 17 shoot. That's insane. Absolutely insane. The hilarious part, though, is the fact that it will grow to 21 over the course of about 80 levels. And then the last little few, it jumps back, it goes down to 17. So he gains over the course of levels 1 to 99, he gains 4 shoot and then loses 4
And
shoot.
loses
So he
it,
ends
yeah.
at 17. It's pretty hilarious.
Does he end up good at anything?
The funny thing is, he actually ends up with 62 catch, which is, again, like we
What?
said, that's crazy. Like over
That is.
60. The kicker though with that is that does not actually start to really even grow until level 80. So it's like, you got to use them that whole time. That just sucks.
That is weird. Yeah, I mean, how do you bring him up to level 80?
gotta-
Like, because his
yeah.
shoot isn't very good. I mean,
No,
I don't
he's
know
not
how else to
particularly
use him.
good at anything either. I mean, you could toss him in as a defender, but 31 block, 43 attack. That's not good. And then we have some honorable mentions, right? Some characters that they just didn't quite hit any of our categories.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I will say I have so the first guy I'm thinking of here, Brother. I've used him quite a bit because even at low levels, his speed is really good. But I gotta say, especially when you start getting to higher levels, yes, he's got 99 speed, which is just obscene. But
Yeah,
at the same
crazy.
time, a lot of his other stats, I just kind of got tired of it because it's like, his pass is 44 at level 99, his block is 45, his endurance is not too bad at 59, but, and his shoot is 42. But he's kind of
Yeah.
just like completely averaged all that stuff, so.
Yeah, not gonna do too much with him other than just like have fun running laps around everyone. I would say mine is or one I got is Durin. If you don't know anything about Durin,
Oh yeah,
he is
Durin.
probably the worst player of Blitzball. He is just absolute garbage. He's terrible. He doesn't have.
Yeah.
He has one stat. We're of course talking 99. One stat over 30. And so he's just bad. But as you filled me in on, he's actually a missable blitzball player. So if you
Yeah.
want to get him, you got to do so when you find him in the Comlands, because otherwise he's gone, and then poor Dern's just out of here.
It's a really interesting story because I've watched a lot of YouTubers play Final Fantasy X, and it's just kind of funny how in the Final Fantasy X community, there's always this joke with Durin, like, where did he go? And every character, every NPC that looks like him, it's like, are you Durin? Where'd you
Durin?
go, man? Why are you hanging out in the gorge?
Come play some blitzball.
It is kind of funny because I think at low levels, he's like an okay goalie or something like that, but
Yeah, it starts off at 12. He jumps up to 19 at 15.
right, so early levels, like possibly he's okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing about him is as soon as you enter Sin towards the end of the game, you fight those multiple bosses and then enter Sin, he becomes unavailable. So it's like, why? I wonder why the developers decided to do that. It's just random.
Yeah, pick up the crazy, crappy player or you don't get him anymore.
Yeah. Another one that's kind of interesting, Waka. It's kind of cool to have him on the team, to be honest, just for the storyline purposes of
Of
it.
course.
It makes sense because he retires, but once you get the airship, you can recruit him. And it's just really funny because you can recruit him for 1 gil a game.
One gill.
So, $1. So, but other than that, he's a pretty good player. He's got, obviously, as a forward, 78 endurance, 80 shoot, level 99. He's not very good at anything else, but you get Walk on the team, so.
Yeah. But he's not a star player of the Xanarcanabes. So, no,
Probably wouldn't even
good
get on
old
the Xanax
Walker.
Canaves.
What team you say you play for again? The last one for honorable mentions is good old Keepa. If you listened to our podcast from last week, we did the seed trivia, which we're not going to get to this week, unfortunately. And Keepa is the only player with 99 shoot. But you know what? He's still a crappy goalie. Because why would you use him as a forward? He's slow. His endurance is 45, and it's just kind of like, and of course, he's a crappy goalie, but hey, he's got 99 shoot. He's the only one, so there's that.
Well, yeah, and it's weird because doesn't it jump up from level, or from level 80 to 99? But it's pretty, it's like garbage before that, and then he literally gains like 70 shoot.
Dude,
right?
the last 9 levels, so from 90 to 99, it goes up 36. So each level you are getting 4 shoot. Like that's
so
insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But overall, that's kind of our take on Blitzball for Final Fantasy X. I mean, of course, there's just so much to talk about. There's so many great players and funny things and all that, but for the most part, I think we did a pretty good, solid job on it. The unfortunate part now, though, is that we have to talk about Blitzball in Final Fantasy X-2, which is going to be pretty short because it sucks so bad.
I don't even have too much to say about it.
I don't either.
I think last time I tried, for the sole reason of trying to get the AP egg from that game. But we'll talk about that when we get to Final Fantasy X too.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it either, other than the fact that I was really disappointed when I found out that there's no way to actually control the players.
Oh.
I mean, you can change formation, you can slow down the gameplay speed and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, you don't even get to control them, so you can't do a lot of those tricks and techniques that we were talking about earlier with like baiting defenders away from the goal, passing it to your forward.
No.
All that kind of stuff.
It's nowadays equivalent to Blitzball Simulator. Or what? Blitzball Owner Simulator, something like that. I mean, that's what it is. You're simply... I mean, like I said, I don't have much to say because I have not played it much because that's what it was. I loved Blitzball. I hopped in here. I'm like, what is this? Like, why can't I even move them? Like, this is boring. I don't want to turn on the TV and watch a Blitzball game. I mean, come on, it's not that good of a game, like it's a video game. I'm not watching football here or, anything else. Like it's Blitzball in a video game. And so, because of that, it was very unfortunate. And so, no, it was terrible.
It's also strange the way, I mean, it wasn't the worst idea, to be fair, how you raise their stats as you train players. But it's difficult to do that because every time you train a stat, say passing, there's a consequence to that where you'll get reduced block or something like that. Right. So that's the last thing I'll say about that, and we'll probably get into 10-2 Blitzball when we actually get to 10-2.
Of course. Yep. And so that's gonna do it for us on this installment of mini games. Like I said, we're gonna have part 2 coming your way next. We'll hop into Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. Lots of great things to talk there. We got a lot of mini. That's funny. These games, there wasn't a whole lot, but it was very in depth. The other one, oh man, we're getting into many mini games. So we appreciate you all hanging out with us, listening, sticking. I know we're starting to get into some longer episodes now, but man, we're just got so much to say, right? But again, appreciate it. If you would, please stop by our website. Remember, that was Final Stop for FinalFantasyTalks.com. And so, thanks for hanging out. I'm Mark.
I'm Alex.
This is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks.